picture of fear goes something like this. All people are afraid. Being afraid is a very normal, healthy thing. If an individual were not afraid, I would have to send them to a psychiatrist to find out what was wrong. Nature gave us fear in order to survive. And of course, fear is our best friend. Without fear, we would all die. We'd do something foolish or stupid, which would cause our death or being crippled. Fear is something which has to be controlled. I always compare it to fire. Fear, like fire, must be controlled. And once it gets out of control, like fire, it can destroy everything around. Not only the individual, but everything around. But once you control fear like fire, you can make it work for us. Without fire, we wouldn't have the civilization we now recognize. The fighter who controls this fear can now function in a manner far over and beyond anything he was capable of before. Fear is your friend. And nature gave us fear in order for us to survive. And I give the example of the deer crossing an open field and coming to the forest, and instinct telling them danger is present in the trees, perhaps in the form of mountain lions. At that moment, the adrenal gland injects adrenaline into the bloodstream, the heart beats faster, enabling the deer to perform an extraordinary feat of agility, sufficient to get out of the immediate danger. Now we, as human beings, in my opinion, retain these qualities, though they're somewhat dormant because we live in a civilized atmosphere. But nevertheless, faced with a situation that intuition tells us dangers is present, these natural assets that nature gave us to survive come to the surface. And if we don't panic, we maintain a discipline and a control over them, we can use them. And they not only will help us survive the particular incident, but continued success will give us a confidence that's so strong and a foundation so powerful that in time you can get to overcome almost anything.
For me, fear is the greatest obstacle to learning. And unless one understands fear, he can never learn as quickly as he should. Fear is like fire. If you learn to control it, you can make it work for you. If you let it get out of control, it can destroy you and everything around you. Well, like a snowball on a hill. A snowball on a hill, you can pick it up and do whatever you want with it. But let that snowball roll down the hill, it gets so large, if you try to stop it at that point, it'll crush you. So fear is like that. We've learned to understand fear. Most people think of fear as something to be ashamed of, something to be really embarrassed about. But I teach these boys that fear is a normal, healthy thing. I often ask them, who is your best friend? Well, they try to name individuals. I tell them, no, your best friend is fear. Do you know the difference between being afraid and being yellow, or the difference between a hero and a coward? And I tell them there's no difference between a hero and a coward at all. How they feel, but it's what they do that makes a difference. That's what makes the difference between you and a coward. Now, the people who watch you do what you do, judge you on what you do, not how you feel. If you go out there and you do what you do, and you do it in what people call an heroic manner, they think of you as a hero. If you do things as a person does that's often referred to as cowardly or whatever, they think of you in that way. But the hero and the coward feels exactly the same. You have to have the discipline to do what a hero does and to keep yourself from doing what the coward does, or the so-called coward. Everybody's a coward, more or less.
Teaching boxing involves the preparation for the young boy to face life and live life in the proper manner, so that they'll be able to face their problems, cope with them successfully, and thereby go on to accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. The greatest obstacle to accomplishment and learning is fear. And I teach them why they have fear and how to cope with it, so that it doesn't become an inhibiting factor, but rather an inspiring thing, because once you learn how to control fear, it acts as a drive because of the adrenaline. It is the mark of a great fighter when he has character plus skill, because a fighter with character and skill will often rise and beat a better fighter because of this. Character is that quality upon which you can depend under pressure and other conditions. Character makes the fighter predictable. Character helps him win. When you get to the point where you're not excited and able to, that's what you got to tell yourself. Completely relaxed. You're able to see everything that's going on. Your sense of anticipation is sharp. And that can't happen unless you relax.
Yeah,
Man who's thinking and worrying about getting hit is not going to have a good sense of anticipation.
Right.
He will, in fact, get hit. And most important, when you get hit, like you get excited. When you get hit, bang, you get excited and your head comes up your hands. When you get hit, that's when you got to be calmest. That's when you got to be calmest. when you get hit. A professional fighter has got to learn how to hit and not get hit, at the same time be exciting. That's what professional boxing is about. You got to be clever, you got to be smart, and not get hit. I'm not a creator. What I do is discover and uncover. My job is to take the spark and fan it. When it starts to become a little flame, I feed it. And I feed the fire until it becomes a roaring blaze. And then when it becomes a roaring blaze, I pour huge logs on it. And then you really got a fire going. That's what I do with these boys. See, that's what I try to do.
I don't try to teach immediately. I try to talk to them, make them receptive to what I'm going to say, because unless I have their attention, my words will bounce off them like water off a window pane. So I had to first talk and talk and talk and get friendly and try to get his comfort. And in time, I felt that whatever I would say would have more effect. And of course, always aided by his great interest in boxing, because when a person's interested in something, they're willing to tolerate, any kind of problems that may come up. Trying to find out what kind of a person he is. And I know that a person, for example, we are today a sum total of what we've been. Every act and every deed we've had makes us what we are today, good or bad, So in his case and other cases, what I do is talk and try to find out how many layers I have to peel off of experiences detrimental and otherwise, till I get down to the man himself, and then expose that so not only I see it, but he can see it. And when that happens, the progress begins from that point on, more rapidly.
Anything is possible. If a guy wants to do bad enough, tries hard enough, works hard enough, dedicated enough, don't let things interfere with what he's trying to do, possible. Unlikely, but it's possible. The physical part of boxing is so minor that most people would never believe it or accept it. Because in my opinion, the mind and emotions are about 75% of boxing. You got to do it because you know it's right to do, and it's going to benefit you in the long run.
I can say honestly, I have a very deep affection for him. I do. To me, he's my boy. He's with me. I often say to him, I owe you a lot, and he doesn't know what I mean, but I'm going to tell him now what I mean. If he weren't here, I probably wouldn't be alive today. The fact that he is here and doing what he's doing, and doing as well as he's doing, and improving as he has, gives me the motivation and interest to stay alive. Because I believe that a person dies when they no longer wants to live. But I have a reason with Mike here, and he gives me the motivation. I will stay alive, and I will watch him become a success. Because I will not leave until that happens.
It wasn't good. I was a young kid. I was 18 years old that happened. He used to always say, I'm not going to be around, so you have to listen to me. Remember what I tell you, because I'm not going to be around. Because he was 77 when he died. He had cancer. When he was dying, I said, I'm not going to fight anymore. He said, what? He said, if anybody could ever come back from life and haunt somebody, I will come back and haunt you. That's what he told me on his deathbed.
And had you not had Cuss, had Cuss not come along?
No, it's never, it can't be like if I didn't have it. It was meant by God. It's not going to happen. I don't even think like that. No, this is what happened. I don't look at myself as failing. If I wasn't with Cuss, I'm going to fail.
But would there have been somebody else?
No, I'm ordained by God to meet the master.
What is the difference between a hero and a coward? There is no difference. Not in what they, not the way they feel. They feel the same.
That's how it lets fear bother them.
No. More specifically, see, fear, a coward and a hero, they're the same. They feel the same. It's what they do that makes them different. In other words, the hero feels just as frightened as the coward. Yeah. But it's what he does that makes him different. It's what he does that makes him a hero, and what the other fellow doesn't do that makes him a coward. It's just as simple. It isn't that they're any different. They aren't any different.